So for a lot of men who've got bad social anxiety around relationships, dating, honesty, intimacy and finding a meaningful relationship, I wrote this down. I'm going to share my story with you because there's a lot of you that have never met me. You haven't heard my story. For those of you that have heard my story many times, you should hear it again, because like my mentor says, every time you hear someone's story, you might hear it from a different place. It might give you a different perspective. And also when I share it, it gives me a different perspective. So this is my story to begin with regards to my social anxiety around women getting a girlfriend, being honest with women, respecting women, and just being able to be confident around women. So my anxiety around women started at primary school when I was younger, after getting bullied, because I went to a mixed school with guys and girls. And I got bullied by the guys in front of girls, and this made me feel humiliated. So this made me very nervous all the time. Around people, especially women, and I started to feel ugly in my teens, and I believed that women viewed me this way. Then I started to worry more and more about my looks. I started to get paranoid, self-conscious. I thought I was ugly, I thought I was skinny. I didn't really like the way that I spoke, the way I walked. I stuttered, I got nervous. So I suffered for many years, with social anxiety and shame, and especially beliefs around being deserving of getting a relationship. So how did I change this? How did I overcome my anxiety? Well, what happened to me was in my early 20s, I started to get panic attacks and anxiety, not just because of my issues with women, but because my issues with life, with all people, depression, suicidal thoughts. So after getting really down, I started praying to God in my early 20s. I was living in my own apartment, a small place in Fulham Broad, a lovely area, but quite a dingy apartment. And I was just struggling with life. I was struggling to cope with the stress of life, paranoia, intrusive thoughts, suicidal thoughts. So after praying to God, I listened to a message from Les Brown. It inspired me, it made me cry, it gave me hope, it gave me strength. His story really resonated. Although he's from America and we've lived different lives, he went through the bullying at school and the name calling and the shaming and being called dumb, and he explained how he overcame it. So I took his advice, and in no chronological order, I went out and I made a commitment to face all my fears, not just my fears of talking to women, dating, rejection and getting a relationship, but I faced all these fears in no order. So I took up boxing at Fitzroy Lodge Amateur Boxing Gym. I also went to other boxing gyms, all-star boxing gyms in West London. I went to boxing in St Pancras. I'm thankful. These guys changed my life. So boxing gave me a lot of confidence, especially around relaxing around women and men and going out in public. But it gave me confidence with women. Eventually, it gave me the confidence to go on dates and get a girlfriend. I did public speaking. That gave me a tremendous amount of confidence. Helped me to relax more around people, again with women. I started doing weight training, which helped me to build my body up, because I was always insecure. I was always ashamed of my body. I was quite skinny growing up. That I put on some muscle. I prayed a lot, I listened to motivational messages, and then I actually practiced. It wasn't easy, but I practiced talking to women, and I practiced being more honest and vulnerable around women, because I struggled to be myself, and deep down I just wanted to be myself. I didn't want to be fake. So that really helped. I got a mentor and eventually started my own business, started coaching people. So I've just rotated and kept doing all these things. I stuck at these things, and eventually it wasn't easy. I think, if I'm being honest, it was only really till I started to go on dates and I started to realize actually women don't think I'm ugly, because I started to get that feedback that there were women that found me attractive. And then when I got a girlfriend, by that time I had that self-confidence. I believed in myself. I didn't believe I was ugly anymore. I was helping people. So it was a combination. It was a holistic approach to getting that confidence and really putting those demons to rest. So I would encourage, I'm not saying that you need to copy exactly what I done. It wouldn't be a bad thing, but you need to face your fears and take responsibility. Because one of the things that men do a lot which don't work, they try and get validation from women and want women to like them and love them and respect them and go out of them, but they don't work on loving themselves. They don't have a vision, they don't have a passion. So this was a vision that I created. My vision was to do what I'm doing now, to be a speaker, a teacher, a motivational speaker, a coach, someone that could help. I started off initially coaching men, Now I'm coaching men and women. But that's where I started. So you need a vision. You need a purpose in life. You need a purpose and a vision that is not just about, or how can I get a woman to like me in a relationship, because that's important. But from my experience, from learning from women, learning from all people, generally women want a man who's got a good attitude and has got a good respect for them and has a vision, has a purpose, and works hard. You don't have got to be a perfect man, because none of us are. And no, there's no man or woman that's perfect, but you've got to be a lot better than you're being. So you've got to take responsibility. Things like I say on this channel, clean your apartment, having a good attitude. And like I say to guys, a lot of guys don't want to hear this, but if you don't respect women and treat them with respect, they're not going to respect you. And that comes back to love, self-respect, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done. So boxing, socializing, public speaking, having goals, working on your career. Sorry, I missed out on something so important, I forgot. I also made good male friends. That's so important. A lot of men who struggle to get a relationship with women, they don't have like good friends or a good friend where they have a genuine friend who cares about them for who they are, where they can be honest and vulnerable. So I had to overcome these fears of being vulnerable, showing my soft side, opening up, and it weren't easy. Most men find it easier to go in a boxing ring than they do to be open and vulnerable, because referring back to my last video, which I'm going to link here, and I had the same terrifying fear. Most men are terrified of being rejected by women, being hurt. I'm not talking about just a girl not wanting to give you a telephone number or not getting back. There can be that, but falling in love, and we all have that fear until we make progress and overcome it. And I did a video to explain that, which you can link to from this video. So these are things I had to work on. I had to heal through love, through relationships, and of course, healing with parents, improving my relationship with my mum and dad. So it's all this area. And I know some people go, oh, that's so much, I'm afraid of it. But if you really want to succeed, you'll take these fears on. So if any of you are interested in relationship coaching and you want help to improve your chances of getting a meaningful long-term relationship, and you want to overcome these anxieties, I do confidence coaching for this. And if you're interested, guys, I'm going to be honest with you, my coaching is not cheap, it's expensive, because the value that I deliver isn't cheap. It's very, very valuable. And I only work with guys that are committed, and they've got to have good values, they've got to have the right attitude towards women, towards themselves, and they want to get a meaningful relationship. I'm not teaching how to mess around and do this and do that. You've got the wrong coach. This is for guys that want to get an honest, meaningful relationship, and they want to get confident. And there's a whole procedure that entails, which is working on your life, your career, your ambition, your social skills, going to the gym. And if you are committed, I do a 1-year program for relationships. I do a 6 weeks program, and I can create an invisible, if that doesn't work for you, I can create a program that might be somewhat in between. But yeah, if you'd like to apply, send me an email in the box below, and we'll do a consultation before we can make a decision if I can work with you, and there'll be any paid investment on your side and me committing to work with you. I'd love to help you. I've helped a lot of clients. This has changed my life. For those of you that are not ready to invest at the moment, there's too much fear, I understand, or you're not ready financially, or at the start, or trust might be an issue, I understand that. Stick to the free videos. I put all the stuff out free on the channel, on the videos. If you go through the channel and subscribe, and you take the time, all the information is there on how you can be successful in all areas of life and get past social anxiety, trauma, anxiety, doubt, negative thoughts, fears of intimacy, all these different areas. You can be successful. But it's, like I say, I'm always honest with my clients, I'm honest with all of you. It's hard work. You're gonna have to work through pain. You have to get through the shame, but if you're willing to do it, and I think it's worth it, you can change life. Any guy can do it. So yeah, I'd recommend any guy who has these anxieties, speak to someone. Sometimes you've got to get professional help, a coach, a therapist, a good friend, but work on being confident. Women can't give you confidence unless they're a teacher. The same men. You've got to be accountable. This is what I've learned from women. You've got to take responsibility. You've got to love yourself. You've got to find your purpose in life, guys. You've got to do that. You can't rely on anybody else to do that. You want to go into a relationship being whole. That's the best relationships, where you're whole, the woman's whole, you love each other. Not where it's not going to work unless you want those sorts of relationships. And I've learned from experience. And you can only do that by living your purpose. And I've said before, every man's got a purpose, as does every woman. You have to have the courage to face your fears to find your purpose and live it. When you live your purpose, it tends to make you confident to take that risk to love and trust and be vulnerable and risk the fear that we've all got to risk when we go into any loving relationship, and that's the fear of being hurt. And it's worth it. It is definitely worth it to be successful and enjoy your life. But it sounds a lot when you say all this because you break down every intricate detail. It's not really a lot. It's get your life together. Stop making excuses. Stop blaming everybody else. Stop blaming women and your parents and me and this person. Take responsibility. Have compassion for yourself. Work on your confidence, your public speaking, your honesty, accountability, your fashion. It's pretty straightforward stuff, guys. Anyone can do it, all right? So I'll speak to you soon. I hope you've got a lot of value. Let me know in the box below. If there's other videos you want me to make in this area of confidence, anxiety, success, motivation, let me know. I'm happy to do it. I'll speak to you soon. Have a great weekend. Bye.